Hello my friends and welcome back to Joe's Gunpla Garage. We are here today celebrating 8,000 subscribers on this channel, which is absolutely blown me away. I promise I only seek to improve with every single video I put out. I never thought I would reach 8,000 subscribers, so thank you so much for supporting me, for liking all of the videos, commenting on these videos, and spreading them around. You guys have supported me immensely with this endeavor, and I just can't thank my subscribers enough. Now, I work 2 jobs and I do this YouTube stuff on the side, so I've been a little busy lately. Unfortunately, I don't have any videos in the backlog that's super Gunpla related to post. I know there's quite a few projects that people are waiting on, so just give me a little bit more time. I'm still cooking those. But I didn't want to leave all my subscribers hanging for supporting me and getting me to this milestone, so I decided to do a fun little Q&A video to commemorate 8,000 subscribers. So what I did was I filtered the comments and I pulled the most compelling questions I've gotten from the past 3 months. I also posted in the community tab for anyone who wanted more laser-focused questions there, so I could answer them in this video. So the questions I've compiled are here on my phone. I'm not going to show any usernames just for privacy, but if you guys wanted that changed in the future, if we do a future Q&A maybe at, I don't know, 16K subs or something like that, if we ever get there, then just let me know below. So I'm going to start with the community post questions first, just to get those out of the way, because those are the most recent questions I've received. The first question we're going to look at today says, "Hi Joe, congrats on the milestone." Thank you very much. Thank all you guys, actually. "My burning question is, when will we get to see the review of the custom real grade High Nu Gundam? I have been dying to see it." So last January, I built a High Nu Gundam with a resin kit on it. I'm still going to try to keep it a little more coy. I'm not going to try and reveal all of it right now because I'm just trying to navigate how to properly talk about that kit because it's already completed, so I can't show any work as it's in progress. So that's on the list of projects I want to get done. I'm just trying to figure out how to script that video and show it off because it's mostly just going to be B-roll of the kit itself. There's not going to be any assembly video work to it, so you're not going to get to see any of my workflow. If I could go back in time, I would have shelved that project and filmed it similar to the Akatsuki painting video that I did recently. So because I have none of that assembly or prep work footage, I can't show a video similar to the Akatsuki video. It's just all going to be B-roll of the High Nu. So I want to also make sure that all the B-roll I have is interesting enough to keep viewers' attention while I talk about the kit and how I built it, but without showing any of the assembly steps. So it's a little hard to navigate that video in particular. I'm working on it. I'm trying to work on the script first, but I have some other projects I want to get done first because there's a lot of people asking for one in particular. We'll get to that soon. The next question: are you open to offering your painting services to paint a Gundam chess set? So that's a difficult question. I've never done a commission before. I don't know how I would even price that out, and I would probably want to do it almost pro bono, like you just pay the materials and I do the work for free, because I would want to make sure that the quality was good. So I'd want to do a couple of those more based off material versus actual labor and material first, just because I want to make sure that my work is good enough to be sold off on a commission type of basis. Right now I'm a little bit too busy with everything else going on. The summertime is my very, very busy time. I do photography and I handle stuff for a local truck club, so summertime I'm just like straight out. So maybe in the wintertime if things free up, but I can't say yes to any commission work right now. The next question: congrats on the 8K milestone, Joe. Maybe it's time for another giveaway. If you had the opportunity to grab next year's PGU Nu, would you custom paint it or snap it and be done? So I haven't officially done a giveaway on this channel yet. I was thinking about it, and then my friends at Mecha Warehouse were having a charity stream, so any kit that I would have given away, I donated to the stream to help raise money for charity through Nick, because Nick was doing a charity stream on the Mecha Warehouse channel. I think at probably 10K I might do a giveaway. That's kind of what I'm leaning on because that's like a big milestone. I'm still debating it, and I'm debating what kit I want it to be. I almost kind of want to give away a Master Grade Sazabi, because that's one of my favorite Master Grades of all time. I think that's a wonderful kit. I just can't find one right now. So stay tuned for that. We'll probably do a giveaway at 10K. So just give me a little bit more time to try and track down that kit, but that's probably what it might end up being. To answer your perfect grade new question, I will probably build it out of the box with panel line, decals, and top coat. If I get it early, I'll probably review it just after panel lining, because they're probably not going to actually pack it in with water slide decals. So that's kind of where I stop the build process for the review itself, because I don't want to spend, especially a kit of that price, which is projected to be about $650 US. I don't want to be using the sticker type seals on that, because that's a kit very worthy of water slide decals. So I'm going to have to wait till Delpy or G Rework come out with their set of decals for the perfect grade new Gundam. That's also going to be a massive undertaking to paint that kit, so I'll live vicariously through other builders first, but my first build of the PGU Nu is going to be out of the box with panel lining specifically for this channel. The next question says, I just have a question. When can you make a video of how to fix the real grade Zeta and Sinanju Gundam? I would love to fix my real grade Zeta to make it a stable Gundam to handle. Thanks. So the real grade Sinanju and the real grade Zeta Gundam videos are probably coming next. I missed the Gelgoog pre-order, the GQuex Gelgoog, which is a gym, whatever. I missed that pre-order on HobbyLink Japan, so I'm not getting it same time as other reviewers. So that's going to buy us some time to do a Sinanju fixing video. Unfortunately, the month of April was just insane for me, so I really wanted to do the Sinanju video during that. I even had it on my build bench. I was ready to open the box and get filming, and then things just fell by the wayside. So that's probably the next video to come, is the real grade Sinanju fix video. Promise that's going to be the next kind of project uploaded. It just takes a bit of time, so there may be a couple unboxing videos between here and the actual real grade Sinanju fix video. It's not a terribly difficult kit to fix, but I want to do it from, you just bought this kit, how are we going to fix it? And I want to do it as minimally as possible. So what can we use within the box to actually fix it, rather than, you know, going out to another hobby store, buying a bunch of plate to fix things, etc. So I'm trying to make it as easy of a video to follow if you just bought the kit and just want it fixed on your bench with minimal supplies. That's kind of my thought process behind the Sinanju fix video. The Zeta, I haven't built the Zeta in 6 years, so I need to build another real grade Zeta again, kind of figure out what's quirky about it, and then determine the best way to fix that. So that one's gonna be definitely later on, but the Sinanju's coming soon, I'll say that. The next question, thoughts on the perfect grade Unleashed new Gundam? I'm very happy that we're getting the perfect grade Unleashed new Gundam. I think it looks fantastic. I think there's a lot of dissension about the price point right now. A lot of people are saying, I'm not going to spend $650, but here's the thing, the perfectibility with Divine Pack sold out pretty quickly and pretty commonly too. So no matter what, the perfect grade new is going to be, it's going to be unobtainium once it actually releases. I think it's about time that we got the perfect grade new, just considering how popular that design is and how many fans love the new Gundam. So I'm very happy it's coming out. I'm happy it's not the, $2,000 that the metal structure was. And I'm happy I don't have to rely on the Deban knockoff of the metal structure to get a perfect grade sized new Gundam in kit form. The perfect grade new looks a lot better than the Deban new. I can't speak to the metal structure, but reviews of the Deban new, it's basically, yeah, it's a statue, it can't do a heck of a lot. But the perfect grade new looks like it's much more capable of articulation. The waist has like a swinging forward and backwards type of motion on it, and the wrists can swivel here at the joint, so it's gonna look kind of better that way. It really just honestly looks like it's going to be a phenomenal kit, and it's probably going to take a long time to build, probably 40 hours or something. It looks like there's going to be a lot of pieces there. What I'm curious about the Perfect Grade Nu, is it able to stand without the stand with the funnels attached? I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a super big fan of stands. I like just having the kit stand by itself. However, I know that some designs like the Unicorn Perfectibility up there, there's no way that's going to be able to stand with all the things attached to it. So I'm kind of hoping the Nu can handle it with just the funnels and standing, but more than likely it's gonna be a kind of stand queen. So hopefully the stand is adjustable, similar to the Unicorn, where you can like pull it up and you can put it in some type of aerial sort of poses. I'm curious what the add-ons are going to be, because the Perfect Grade Nu, in the images I've seen, there's no psycho frame gimmick, which we saw in the Master Grade Verka, and we saw in the metal structure Nu Gundam, but we don't see it in the PGU Nu. So I almost wonder if that's going to be a P Bandai add-on, if it's just not going to exist or what. I'm also curious if there's going to be a separate stand, or if like an action-based stand or something could hold the funnels so you could display the Nu Gundam with its funnels out in attack or defense type of modes. It's definitely a curious one. I really am excited for it. It's gonna be a madhouse trying to get it. So let's just hope I can get one here on the channel so I can review it early. This next question is a twofer. What is your least and most favorite parts of a complete build? This is a twofold kind of answer. It's a little complex. If I see a build that really inspires me, my favorite part is adding details. So I'm currently working on a Perfect Grade GP01, but I'm taking my sweet time with it and I'm hand brushing all the little tiny details. It's something that I can just focus on, I can turn my brain off, and I can just relax and build something. If I'm just doing an out-of-box build, it's definitely assembly and seeing the engineering that Bandai puts into the kits. So anytime I build something on the channel, assembling it is my favorite part. Although panel lining, now that I panel line on the runners, I like that part of it too. It's nice and quick and easy, and especially when you panel line the frame and you see all those details come out, it looks really nice. So I'm definitely going to say assembly, with panel lining coming in as a close second. My least favorite will always forever be decals. Decals, that's where a lot of my works in progress go to die, just because it takes such a long time, because I have such a high standard for what I like seeing in my builds personally, that I want the decals to make sense. I want the caution decal to be like where event is going to be, or towards the end of the barrel. You know, sort of things like that. I don't like some of the random placement of decals. Like, perfect example is on this narrative Gundam. I put a bunch of decals on this from the XS. It doesn't make any sense. Why did I do that? You know what I mean? That's kind of what I don't like and what I'm shying away from. This is a very old build. So to take those decals and lay it out in a scheme that I like and that makes sense to me can take a long time. It used to be panel lining. That used to be my least favorite, and that's when I was using a pen exclusively for panel lining. But it's absolutely decals now. I got so many whips that I need to decal. I just need to find the time, because it's a very time-consuming process. It could take, usually I do it on a Sunday. It takes all Sunday to get like 2 kits done. I usually do them in batches, so I only have to suffer one day and then continue. So that's the answer to that question. The second part of this person's question, what is your favorite Gundam media? And they want to ask if I'm going to do a tier list video soon on Gundam media. That's a very hard question to answer, because I kind of like everything to a degree. The only media I can say I flat out do not like is G-Reco. I didn't like G-Reco at all. Like, the mech design was interesting, but for me, G-Reco just kind of seemed like a rehash of Turn A, but with a very brisk pace, and I don't think Gundam works well 25 episodes or less. I think they need a little bit more than 25 episodes. We even saw that with Witch from Mercury, because Witch from Mercury got very rushed towards the end there. The third act is extremely rushed, and I think it needed 5, maybe 6 more episodes to really flesh the rest of that story out. And it would have made a lot more sense. Like, we see Gundam Schwarzette for 15 seconds of screen time, maybe. It's you almost blink and you miss the Schwarzette in Witch from Mercury. So I think Gundam probably at 30, 35 episodes is like the sweet spot, unless they really plan it out well. I think IBO was planned pretty well with season 1 and season 2. That had a very nice pace to it. I'm kind of going off on a tangent here about pacing, but to answer your question, your primary question of what my favorite is, it's the original. It's the original Mobile Suit Gundam. When I grew up, I watched Gundam Wing. I thought it was a little boring, and then I watched DBZ a lot, and then G Gundam came out. I loved G Gundam when I was a kid, but then I saw Mobile Suit Gundam, and I really liked Amuro a lot as a character. And I liked that kind of World War II sort of vibe that they were going with it. You can see those influences there. So that's what I really liked. And then I saw 8th MS Team, and then I was like just a one-year war type of guy. I just loved it. So it's definitely the original Mobile Suit Gundam is my favorite, but I sort of kind of like everything, with G-Reco being the exception. And here's a really hot take for you. I don't think G-Savior is as bad as everyone says it is. It's a little goofy, and of course it's campy, but when you look at it with the context of they have like almost no budget, like the guns are copied from Starship Troopers, they're putting all the budget into the CGI. They did a decent job with what they had. It's not the worst thing in Gundam. I'm gonna say that right now. G-Savior, it's bad, but it's not the worst. This next question, thoughts on resin kits and have I built any? So, I have 3 resin kits built in my collection right now, which is a Kshatriya, the Dendrobium, and the High Nu Gundam. In the backlog, I have a resin kit for a Master Grade Rosen Zulu, and I have a resin kit for the Perfect Grade Wing Gundam because I felt that the Wing Gundam is a little too plain, and the resin kit did everything that I would have kind of scribed to do. Plus, I'm still fresh at scribing, and I didn't want to screw it on a kit that size, so I just sprung for the resin kit instead. I do like resin kits. They're a nice challenge, and I think once your skills are advanced enough, I think almost everyone should try a resin kit because you learn so much from just resin building. Gundam fans are spoiled because a lot of things are color separated. If you go build a military model or even your Warhammer minis, it's all one color. It's one gray color. We have everything color separated so we can snip it all out from the box and have a decently colored model kit at the end of the day. So resin kits, it's like you take this Gundam and it has all these different contrasting colors with whites and off-whites, grays, different shades of gray. I think I used 12 different colors on my Resin High Nu Gundam, and I learned so much from that. With military models, they're usually only a couple colors, but you just learn so much from resin building Gundam, and I learn new stuff every single time, so that's what I'm always looking for. Now, the double-edged sword of that is they're extremely expensive and not something you want to screw up, so you really have to take your time with it, and you need to have your mindset set for, okay, I'm going to build a resin kit today, and it's a slow burn. It's absolutely a slow burn. You can't just speed through it. You need to take your time with it. So I would like to do a full video on resin kits in the future. I think that would be an interesting topic to talk about, but sometimes in summer, I live in New Hampshire, it can be a little weird. Like right now, it's been raining every other day. It's super humid in this room. I couldn't paint anything if I wanted to. So my studio is unpaintable right now. All my big paint projects, I usually wait till wintertime because we get a lot of dryness. My house is at least super dry during wintertime, and that's typically when I do my resin builds. So I'm snowed in, there's nothing else to do, just gonna spend some time and build a cool looking mobile suit. The next question on the community post, could you test water slide decals from different brands to see which one is best compared to Bandai? Some popular ones I've seen on eBay and AliExpress are Simp, Dallin, Ghost Custom, Delpy, Evo, etc. So without doing a video, and if you're looking for decals to purchase right now, I can tell you that without doing a video. Delpy and G Rework are my go-to selections. Simp Pro is okay. I've had decent luck with them. I think I used Dallin way long ago. We're pushing 5 years was the last time I used Dallin decals, but I remember them being all right. I will absolutely say that Bandai decals are the worst. I typically won't use them even if they're included in the box. I will wait until Delphi puts them out. Delphi usually delivers decals quicker. Sometimes they'll do a full scan of the actual Bandai sheet and then they'll add a couple of their own just for some extra pizzazz. G Rework usually has more custom flaring to their decals, so G Rework is actually my preferred brand, but they're also not available as quickly as Delphi either, so it depends on the design for me. If it's a kit I really like, I'm gonna wait to see what G Rework puts out before I buy from Delphi, just because I don't wanna buy it, decal it, and put it on my shelf and then see what G Rework finally put out and I go, oh, I should have waited. That's what I did with the G Quex, and I'm happy I did because I do like G Rework's G Quex decals a little bit better than the Delphi ones. Not saying Delphis are bad, just I prefer the style of G Rework over Delphi for that particular model. But that's a great idea for a video to do in the future, so I'll definitely look forward to doing that. Thank you for the idea. I appreciate that a lot because that's some easy content for me to do. So that does it for the community post. Let's go on to video comments. I want to see/hear the blue Kshatriya story. This is from the studio tour video. So this right here is the blue Kshatriya in question. Now it looks kind of alright from far away, but if we get very close, then you can see all the brush strokes in it because I used like watercolor paints on this from Michaels. I'm surprised it's even still blue because the paint scratches quite easily. I cut everything out with like a razor blade. This was one of the first Gunpla that got me back into building because I was collecting Mobile Suit action figures at the time. So I had everything that I wanted from MSIA, and I started collecting robot spirits. So I got the Unicorn because Unicorn wasn't an MSIA release. So I got a Unicorn Sinanju from Robot Spirits, and I said, well, I need the Kshatriya to kind of flesh the rest of those out. And this was like 2011, 2012 at the time. So I got this for my birthday from my parents. And then I was like, you know, I kind of want to do my own custom thing. So I went and bought some paints and I did this. It's definitely ugly. It's definitely not my best work. There's some really cakey kind of paint on here. I even used whiteout for the sleeves markings. So even back then I was like, I'm not going to use these stickers. I used whiteout, right? I almost wonder if this is even salvageable. So maybe if you wanted to, after some other projects, if you wanted to see me try and restore this blue Kshatriya to its sort of green coloring and make a better looking Kshatriya, let me know in the comments below. That might be an interesting video to do alongside with fixing my other kits that I screwed up, like the Epion and the Sinanju, because there was some interest with a kind of mini series of fixing my mistakes on some of those other kits from my worst builds video. So if you wanted to see that, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, this would be another good candidate, that type of video series. The next question, what's your dream real grade release? For me, I like seeing complete sets. I like seeing complete sets of everything. So in real grade, we have Gundam, we have Gundam 2.0, we have Zeta Gundam, and then we have New Gundam. We're missing a key Gundam here, and that's the Double Zeta. I really want a Double Zeta real grade. I wanted it 5 years ago. So with the amount of technological advancements they're making in real grade right now, I'm kind of happy that it didn't come out earlier, so we're going to get the best representation of the Double Zeta in real grade when it eventually, I assume, comes out. I think the Master Grade Verka looks phenomenal. That's like the best that design's ever looked, so I hope they take a lot of design cues from the Master Grade and just kind of shrink it. But it's also a design that benefits from a lot of additional surface detail, which the Master Grade doesn't have out of the box. So that's what I want, because I'm a big stickler for surface detail. I just want a real grade Double Zeta Gundam. That's next on my list of kits that I want. The next question, can frosted top coats be fixed with top coating it again? I'm going to say yes, but there's an extent to it. If it's so frosted to the point that the kit is completely just white out, maybe not. I've had some success with that. My high-grade Nightingale was frosted over pretty bad. I used an old can of clear coat that should have been tossed. I had it mixed up after I first moved into this house, so little boo-boo on my part. and I got the kit early, so it wasn't even available in the States yet. So what I did was I gloss coated it, which sort of brought it back to that color, and then I flat coated it again, and then it came out good. Now, there's some little asterisks here for that. So this is a little difficult to show off on this camera right now because I'm not switching to my macro lens, but this decal right here is supposed to be white, but because I did the flat coat, the gloss coat, and then the flat coat again, it's sort of yellowish. Same with down here. So my decal here is also a little yellowish on this wing binder itself. So it will fix it to a point that it's somewhat presentable on your shelf, but if it's for like a competition build or something, you may have some issues getting that frosted look out of the kit itself. So just be very mindful of it. Always spray in the best conditions possible for your kits, especially if it's a competition type of build. This next question comes from the Real Grade ranking video. How is anything below Zeta? I think Zeta has a lot of really good engineering in it. I think if you take your time and if you're really gentle with that kit, you're gonna get a good kit out of it. It's a very fragile kit. You just need to be in the right mindset to take it slow and build it methodically. I think the Sinanju is worse because you do need to do some extra modifications to it, more so than just gluing. Because when I built my old Sinanju that's no longer with us, I glued it. It didn't necessarily hold in place, so I threw some plate in there, and that sort of made it okay. But the Sinanju needs a little bit more than just glue to be stable. If you wanted a Zeta to be stable, you could glue it in Wave Rider mode, you could glue it in Mobile Suit mode, and you're gonna have a fun time, and you're gonna have a fine model kit with it afterwards. The Sinanju requires a little bit more than just glue, and that's why I picked the Sinanju as the worst rather than just the Zeta. I know a lot of people have issues with the Zeta, but I know a lot of people have issues with the Sinanju as well. What top coat am I using? Now, I use Mr. Hobby, Mr. Super Matte Clear. I usually get it from Hobby Lobby. I don't have any right now. I've been out since the top coating video, so I need to get some more. But that's generally what I use, just because I found in my research that it's the most decal safe, but well protecting and with a decent coverage and coating type of matte coat. I will occasionally still risk it for the biscuit and use Krylon 1311. This was my go-to for many kits, but I'll typically only use this on real grades if I use the stickers. So if I'm just gonna build like a Grunt Zaku, I typically use the inbox stickers and then I'll just use this. This next question comes from the Kshatriya review. Would you recommend to paint the purple parts with markers? Also the claws with some silver parts with gold. Asking because the kit is awesome, but I feel that it could be even better. I have not had good luck with markers. I have a lot of the Display soft tipped acrylic markers, but I can't help but think that the brush strokes in them is a little too obvious. So what I typically end up using them for is the sleeves markings on high grade sleeves kits like the Girazulu guards type, things like that. For bigger pieces like the purple parts on the Kshatriya, you might be able to get away with it, but you're probably definitely going to see some brush strokes in the purple as well, so just be mindful of that. You could try it out, and if you didn't like it, you could soak the part in alcohol, lift all that off, and then paint it yourself. I got some of this Mr. Hobby, Mr. Color to fix the binders on my Kshatriya, and this is also going to be for my Resin Rosen Zulu, so I'll be fully painting it. It's pretty simple to just mask around it and spray, so it should be pretty easy. That's still the only thing I don't like about that kit. I just think that there was enough pieces there that it should have been color separated. The next question. Do you have a link to your list? Would love to use it as a buyer's guide. Idea for you would be to put affiliate links in your description to make a bit of money. So unfortunately, the tier list maker, I couldn't figure out a way to save my tier list without it saving my actual identity name. I tried using different names and stuff, but my tier list was not savable without my actual full name put out there on the internet. So no, you'll just have to pause at the end and screenshot it where I had everything laid out at the end of that real grade ranking video. In terms of affiliate links, I am affiliated with Amazon and Hobby Link Japan. The problem with being an affiliate with Hobby Link Japan, there's not a lot of stock right now. They're out of stock with almost everything. So anytime I talk about a kit like the Police Zaku, for example, I pre-ordered that kit and I was in the first batch of pre-orders for that kit, thankfully. But putting an affiliate link for that down in my description, it's not going to help me, and it's also not going to help you, because that kit is going to be in the States before that gets restocked from Hobby Link Japan anyways. I do put affiliate links in my description if it's viable, but sometimes it's just not viable for me to put it in there. If there's another store or company that would like to work with me, please reach out on Instagram or in my email, which is JoesGunplaGarage@gmail.com, or at Instagram, it's just JoesGunplaGarage, and we can talk business there. But I would like to kind of partner with a United States brand and see what that does for the two of us, because I think that would be helpful. The next question, could you clear coat the whole kit while it's still on the runners? Well, you could do anything that you wanted to. I personally wouldn't, because after you nip off all the gates and the nubs, you're going to have a spot that's kind of got that satin finish to it and not matte or gloss clear that you're going for finish. So the best advice I can give you is try it, see if you like it. If you don't like it, then you know not to do it in the future. But for me personally, I'm not gonna do that just because it's not too much of a time saver there, unfortunately. The next question. Can you paint clear plastic parts with clear coat paints? And if so, would you top coat them with gloss coat or not at all? I just started a 00 riser and I don't want to mess it up. I suppose I could always do a test of the runners. So what I do with my clear parts now is I remove them if I can, or I mask them before I spray the kit. My perfect grade Exia up here. I tried masking it and it took a decal off. Luckily, I had another decal ready to replace it. So what I did was I disassembled it, took all the clear parts off of it, and then if there was like a LED that was visible, I masked that, and then I sprayed the whole kit with top coat. So that kept all the clear parts nice and clear so you could see the light shine through it and you could see the decals behind it. And it came out very, very good. So definitely never matte clear your clear parts. It doesn't look very good. If you wanted to see matte cleared clear parts, go to my worst builds video and look at my 00 Quanta. It looks absolutely terrible because all the clear parts I just matte sprayed it. I didn't really know what I was doing. It was a newer builder. So what I do now though with clear parts is I take some quick shine floor finish and I will paint that onto the clear part itself, and it gives it a really, really nice shimmery gloss coat. So if you wanted that type of look on your clear part, you could try doing that. It's just quick shine floor finish. You can find it in any department store in the United States typically. A lot of people like to use Pledge in the past, but that's been discontinued, so quick shine has kind of stepped up as a go-to for a lot of builders. The next question, do you have a Discord server? Somewhere to talk and share ideas with you in your community? No, I really, really want to. I think that would be really fun to have like a tight-knit Gunpla Garage community. That would be very nice. I sadly don't have the time to moderate that. And with people coming in from all over the internet, I don't know how difficult that's going to be to moderate, because I want it to be a spot where people can just come together and share nice, fun ideas. And I don't want any drama of any kind on it. So I want to do it. It would be a little difficult to navigate, and I would definitely need a couple good moderators or community facilitators to help with that. And if you're interested in helping with that, reach out on Instagram or on my email address, and we can get to chatting and just try to find a way to navigate that and make that a good space for everyone involved. Next question, how do you dust control on the shelf? Well, it's not easy. So probably twice a year, I'll go through and I will Windex the glass on top, and I'll wipe every single kit down with the brush. I have this little dusting brush here, and you just go over it. That's how I dust my kits. So there's no way to use these shelves and keep every kit dust free. Obviously they're open to the elements, but what that affords you is you get a little bit of overhang space. So if you wanted to put the Meteor, the high grade Meteor on it, or if you wanted the Narrative Apex on it, you could fit it on the shelf. It can overhang a little bit and you're not going to lose all that space. Whereas with like a IKEA square one, I forget what they're called, it's the one that everyone used, you'd kind of have to put that in diagonally and you take up a lot of space in those more square ones. So I would love for these to be enclosed. It's got its pluses and it's definitely got its minuses. So it's just one crappy day of going through and dusting everything twice a year. Probably could do it a little bit more, but twice a year is about what I typically do. This next question: can I gloss coat the runner first before applying panel line and matte coat after? Yes, there's a lot of builders that do this. They'll take a gloss coat, they'll gloss coat all the runners, then they'll panel line on the runner, they'll snip it all out, do the assembly, and then they will matte coat it. I've seen a lot of builders do that. That's typically the go-to. I'm just a little bit of a rapscallion and I just panel line directly onto the plastic. And I know, that's a little suspect, so I don't recommend anyone to do that unless they are comfortable doing that. I haven't really had many issues so far, but I've been panel lining a long time, so I think I have it figured out and it works for me. But if you're hesitant to do that, definitely do your gloss coat to protect the plastic and keep everything nice and safe from the enamel thinner that is in the Tamiya Accent Color Black and the Gundam Flow Type panel line markers. The next question: can you do a video for gloss coating? I could do a video for gloss coating, but it's not too much different over matte coating. You just want a nice even finish to make sure that it's going to be glossy throughout, so you need to find a good gloss coat. So I could do a video similar to the matte top coat ones where I get a bunch of gloss coats and then do a kind of shootout and see which gloss coat looks best. I'm not going to do it on random kits I have built. I'm just to kind of do it on early grades or entry grades, whatever they're called now. I always forget the name of those. Just because that last video was a lot of money with all the Destinies that I ended up top coating in the matte top coat video. The next question: where did you get the ceramic heating pad? Could you provide a link? So this is the ceramic heating pad in question. I got this from Goodwill, so I can't give you a link for this because I have no idea where someone's grandma had bought this before donating it. All I can tell you is that these are officially called mug warmers. So it's basically designed for a coffee cup, and there's like a little safety button here, so it's not going to be on unless there's enough weight to push it down, if that makes sense. So just look up a coffee cup mug warmer and you should find plenty of these, but definitely make sure that you use glass or something. You don't want to use something plastic because you'll definitely melt the plastic keeping it on here. That water can get pretty hot after hours and hours and hours of decal placement, so you definitely want to use the right container for your water that you're going to be putting on this mug warmer. This is a question I get a lot. A lot of these come from the real grade ranking video. Can I do a master grade list? I can, but I'm not going to do one right now because I need to build more master grades. I've been focusing a lot on high grades because they're easier to collect, they're smaller, and they're cheaper. And they're more easy to obtain. A lot of master grades have been out of print for a very, very long time and go for extreme amounts of money. Like a mass production type Gelgoog is way more money on the street price than I want to pay, and who knows when they're going to reprint it. So what I would have to do is I would have to split it up from sublines. So the most obvious thing I could work on would be a master grade Verka tier list, but I want to build all the master grade Verkas first before making that tier list because it doesn't make sense for me to rank a kit from one to the other without having built it. That's not how I operate. I want to make sure that I've built the kit, I have hand-on experience building it, I know its pros and I know its cons before I rank it amongst its peers. Probably the closest I could do would be Wing. I could probably do a master grade Wing tier list, including the P Bandai master grades, but I'm still missing a lot of master grades for that. So unfortunately, my focus has been on high grades. There will be a master grade tier list eventually. I just need a lot more time to collect more of them. So stay tuned. obviously you're here, you're subscribed to the channel, so you'll see it when it shows up, but it's gonna be a little bit, unfortunately. Now I picked this comment, it's more of a comment, not really a question, but this is to kind of summarize all the questions of where's this kit on the real grade ranking video. This comment says, it's a crime such beautiful kit as Phoenix is not on the list. Now the Phoenix isn't on the list because it's a premium Bandai limited release, same with the new FF and the Sazabi FF, those are Gundam base limited releases. So I didn't want to put those on the list with the retail releases because the retail releases, in theory, you could go to a store and pick them up pretty easily. And we know that they're always going to be on a reprint schedule, so they're going to come back no matter what. The same could similarly be said about P Bandai, but it could be years before they're reprinted, and like years. Like, I don't know when the last time we saw Real Grade Strike deactivated. That's on my list of kits to get. So what I did was I split them up. So the premium Bandai Real Grade ranking video will come out eventually, probably sooner than the Master Grade ranking video. But there are some heavy hitters that I need to find. Real Grade Strike, please. Real Grade Strike deactivated, I need you for that video. Luckily, P Bandai has been reissuing a lot of old real grades that have been out of print for a while, like the Sinanju add-on pack. So I was able to scoop those up. So I'm just waiting on a few more, and then we're going to go ahead with the P Bandai RG ranking video. So just have a little bit of patience, that video will come. Now, the reason why the Evangelions and the Gao Gaigar aren't on the list is because they're not technically Gunpla if you want to get pedantic about it, because Gundam plastic model kit, Gunpla, it's not Evapla. I don't know what a Gao Gaigar is, so it was just Gunpla. That's all I wanted to talk about. And I haven't seen the source material for those other shows either, for where those kits come from. So I don't think it's really fair for me to rank something that I don't know the context of. Like, it may be a cool looking model, it might be a cool looking robot, but I don't know if that model kit is a good representation of what it's trying to present. If I've never seen Evangelion, I don't think it's really right for me to say, yeah, this is a great representation of what this model kit is trying to put into real life from the screen, if that makes sense. This next question, what pen do you use for panel lining? I use the Pigma Micron .003 pen. It's technically a calligraphy pen, so it's made for handwriting, but it works on kits really, really well. And it's really, really thin, so you can save a lot of those really, really minute details. I don't like the Gundam marker panel liner pen because if you use the wrong clear coat, you'll splotch it up. It doesn't react well with a lot of clear coats, so I typically don't use the Gundam marker panel liner pens, and they're also not as thin as the Pigma Micron. I think they're like a .005, so it's somewhat serviceable, but the Pigma Micron is just so much better than the actual Gundam marker. But that's all I use, and that's all I've really ever used ever since I started building, because it's just worked that good. This next question, where do you usually pick up your P Bandai kits besides the P Bandai store from the US? That's a great question, and here's why. We're spoiled in the United States, and I think Europe has a P Bandai store, and of course P Bandai in Japan. But a lot of other places don't have that resource. So that's why some proxy services and some websites like Side 7 Exports existed, because they provided a service of getting these premium Bandai or limited kits to countries that didn't have a P Bandai store. This is why P Bandai is so hated. I see both sides of the coin for P Bandai. But where do I go personally? My first stop if I miss a P Bandai kit that I want is Kurama Toys. I checked there first. Now, because you're going to be paying overseas shipping, it's going to be a lot of money. You're going to pay a lot of money in shipping. So it really depends on what you want and how important this kit is to you. So my first stop is Kurama Toys. My second stop is GK Gundam Kit. They came in clutch when I missed the pre-order for the high-grade Psycho Mark II and the Master Grade Vidar on Hobby Link Japan. So GK Gundam Kit, they worked for me. I obviously paid for the kits, but can't thank them enough for actually getting it here for review time. And then you have others like Surugaya, and then One Mile Japan, and Bai, and I think Shopee. But I typically don't go past Surugaya. Surugaya is really good because they have a free shipping coupon, like it seems monthly at this point, so they've gotten a little picked over. Their stocks are a little less, but you could have some success there on Surugaya. And those are typically my Bandai resources outside of Band US. This next question says, can I make a perfect grade tier list? And just like the master grade tier list, I'm not going to make a tier list unless I've built one of each of these model kits. So luckily the perfect grade list is pretty small other than the PGU Nu that's coming out. And I think I have about half of them. So I need just a little bit more and I should be able to do that. That would be a pretty good list to do. Thank you for the idea. It's coming. I just need a little bit more kits here. This comment comes to us from the real grade strengthening video. Can I also do this to the inner frame of the real grade Quan? Yes, you can do those strengthening techniques to any kit of any grade, whether it be high grade, master grade, real grade, or even perfect grade to an extent. The method is quite simple. You're just adding a little bit more material to the joint to strengthen it up. Now, real grades are a little bit more difficult because they have the pre-molded AMSJ, but a little bit of CA glue could help you stiffen those joints up. So just put a little bit of glue on it, move it into the joint, and it should work. If it's a ball joint, try to separate it as best as you can. I've had a lot of success with that brand of Gorilla Glue. I can't speak to other brands, but that has worked well for me many years in the past. This next question says, off-topic question, but was there a kit you built recently that was so tedious to build it deterred you from building it? For assembly-wise, no. I've never been so burnt out that I've stopped an assembly. Now, there's been times where I've stopped building a kit because it could be a custom. Like I have a Zaku 3 that I'm trying to add more joints to make it more articulate. I'm trying to cut the skirt up, and it's a lot of engineering to try and make that work and a lot of different trial and error things. So that's something I got a little burnt out on. In fact, it's just dying away in a box in my closet. But in terms of assembly, there's been nothing that's been so tedious that I just flat out quit. Decals though, I'm going to circle back. Decals is usually where things kind of stop for me because I'll put them on the shelf after a review, wait for decals to release, and then sometimes they just keep waiting. So it's just kind of like the ebb and flow of working on a channel. Sometimes I don't have the time to go back and finish a project because I got to review something else that just came out. So it's a bit of a balancing act, if that makes sense. But there's definitely been some times where I've looked at a decal sheet and been like, I'm not doing this today, and I'll put it off for a month or so. This next question says, can the Vidar slab squat? We can try. Sorta. You kind of can't get the knees up enough because there's not enough of a double bend in the knee, but this is kind of the best I could do with the Vidar for a sort of slab squat, if you will. This next question says, can you do a video on how you did the weathering for this kit or weathering in general? I can. It's in my list of projects to work on. It will be coming probably after the Sinanju fix video. But my weathering process, it changes all the time. I'm always trying new things for weathering, and there's so many different techniques for weathering. I'm just gonna tell you that you can't really go wrong with weathering unless you add too much. Your weathering should tell a story, so you kind of want the weathering to explain the battle it went into. Of course, there's things like chipping, but you don't want to add slash marks all over the place at random because it doesn't end up looking very good. Like if you wanted to put bullet holes in a shield or something, you'll kind of want them to go in a line as if the shield was sustaining a sort of fire, if that makes sense. So there will be a weathering video. It's becoming eventually. Another tip for weathering I could give you right now is to look at old type of wear patterns that you see on things around you. Look at old photos of tanks and planes that have seen combat because you can see different types of weathering there. So just look around you. I bet you there's some references for weathering no matter where you look. This next question says, what shelves do you use to display Gunpla? These are IKEA Vitsjo shelves. Like we've already talked about, they're not enclosed, so they are susceptible to dust. You could probably put some plexiglass doors here if you wanted to. That would be an expensive project, but it is possible to do. And I zip tied all of these LED strips everywhere, and I have them on one switch. So I walk in my studio, I press on, and they all come on at once. Pretty nice setup, if I do say so myself. This next question says, where is the best place to find bootlegs? That's kind of a double-edged question. In the States, I would say the Gundam place, that's my go-to if I'm looking at third-party types of kits and I want to pick one up. I like Gundam place a lot, they're pretty good. If you don't mind shopping overseas, potentially having slightly higher shipping costs, Mohifo and Gundamit are pretty good. I got my Deban Perfectibility from Gundamit. I got my Zay Zulu from AliExpress, which that's a gamble. AliExpress is a gamble. I got my V Tiger High Nu from Deban, and I got my Solomon GPO2 from Mohifo. So Mohifo is also a good place to go if you want some bootlegs. I've seen some Gundam Modeling Center before. They have a lot of master grade Destiny Zakus that I'm kind of looking at because the P Bandai ones are harder to find, but I haven't ordered those yet, so maybe I will just to spruce up the channel a little bit and talk a little bit about third parties. But typically that's Dell's, Gunpla, etc. That's his wheelhouse, so check in with him, his channel. He's always covering new third party and bootleg kits over there. So this comes from one of my backlog videos. Why not just buy a Gundam, build it first, then buy another instead of getting a whole bunch of them and letting them sit there? So backlogs exist because sometimes you'll see them out in the wild for a good price, or sometimes like me when you're trying to collect a whole subline of model kits, and one of the best resources for reprints is HobbyLink Japan. You pre-order everything in bulk on HLJ and then it comes in. So HLJ's made it so that I only need 30 more kits to complete the entire HGUC line. So all numbered high grades from 1 to 270 that we're at now. The problem is all the ones I need are very early in the line, so I need a lot of the real early ones. That's why. I would even wager to say that collecting and building are almost two separate hobbies. They really kind of are at this point, and my backlog isn't even one of the worst ones out there. This next question says, are you going to stream you working on a new Zaku 3? Probably not. To get a streaming setup in my build room, I'd have to move my computer in here. I don't have room for both my monitors in here either, so that would be a little difficult to do because I can't run a cable from my camera all the way to my computer that far. It's not going to work. There's a lot that would go into that, and I don't know. If there was significant interest in streaming, I would think about it, but I also don't know how interesting I would be as a streamer. I definitely work better when I'm reading off of a script. So as a streamer, I don't know if that would be interesting content, at least for build and chills. If you wanted to see gaming content, maybe, but if you guys are really that interested in streaming content, let me know in the comments below. If there's significant interest, I might think about it. This next question says, so your Destiny is already panel lined. Did you add a top coat already, then apply your decals, or did you panel line, then add the decals, and then finish with the top coat? So they're basically asking my workflow. My workflow is I open the box, panel line on the runner. I typically don't gloss coat my kits before panel lining on the runner. I do that at my own risk. I cut all the pieces out. I cut all the nubs off, do all the nub cleanup, do any mold refinement that I have to do. Then I separate the pieces into piles. So I put all the leg pieces in one pile, the foot pieces in another pile, arm pieces, torso pieces, backpack pieces, weapon pieces, head pieces, all in separate piles. And then I'll have my own unknown pile that I pull from. I call this the Joe workflow. I've built so many kits that I can basically cut any kit out and figure out where these pieces are supposed to go as I cut them out. And then if I can't, that's what the unknown pile is for. So I pull from that as I read the instructions. You could sort them from the manual as you build, but this is just the process that works well for me. So after I assemble the kit, then I put the decals on, and then I will top coat with a matte top coat like 99.8% of the time. And that's the Joe workflow. And those are all the questions I was able to pull and the ones I found most compelling from the past couple months for this 8K Q&A commencement video. I want to thank you all so much for coming along on this Gunpla journey with me. This has been a lot of fun. It's been a blast getting to chat with you guys in the comments and make content for you guys. I'm always trying to improve, I'm always trying to get better, and I'm always trying to be objective with my reviews and give you guys laser focused good reviews to know if a product is worth buying. I hope to have a different type of video out for you soon, hopefully the real grade Sinanju fix video. Hope I can get to that soon. Thank you all so much for your support. Your comments, your likes, and your subscriptions mean the world to me. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. And until then, stay safe, have fun, and happy building.